Well, with the strokes of three pens, history has been made in the usually red U.S. state of Alabama. Top state officials Thursday certified Democrat Doug Jones as Alabama's newest United States senator, the first Democrat to win a Senate seat there in 25 years. It happened even as Jones's opponent, Republican Roy Moore, on the left, sued to try to stop it. Correspondent Diane Gallagher is in Montgomery, Alabama with more. So Roy Moore refusing to accept the results, but it is being accepted officially.
That's right, Amara. Like, officially, it has been certified, but Roy Moore still may have a little window if he wants to continue making some noise, albeit that will be very expensive noise to make. He can still choose to self-fund a recount if he requests one. And again, that would be very, very expensive. And the clock is also ticking. It has to happen within 48 hours from the minute they sign that certification.
Broke every record in the history of the state for a special election.
Tonight, Doug Jones officially certified by the state of Alabama to be its next U.S. senator.
This election has been conducted with the utmost integrity, that it's been safe, secure, it's been credible.
In spite of a final Hail Mary from the Roy Moore campaign alleging potential voter fraud.
This election was fraudulent, and what we need to do is ask the Secretary of State to do his job and to investigate this.
Moore has refused to concede to Jones after losing the election earlier this month by more than 20,000 votes.
When the vote is this close, then it's not over.
But most Republicans, including the president, have called for Moore to concede.
As far as Roy Moore, yeah, it's certainly, I would certainly say he should.
And the state of Alabama says those voter fraud accusations just aren't true.
People are entitled to their own opinion, but they're not entitled to their own facts.
Moore calling to delay certification until there is a thorough investigation and for a new special election. But minutes before the state certification, a circuit court judge denied Moore's complaint. The complaint alleges out-of-state residents had been allowed to vote and that election fraud experts concluded that fraud had taken place. One of those experts is Richard Charnin, who has blogged about JFK conspiracy theories and the murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich. And Moore is questioning the high voter turnout in Jefferson County, where a large percentage of the population is black, calling it highly unusual. The Alabama Secretary of State says many voter fraud complaints have already been dismissed.
More than 60 of those have already been fully adjudicated and dismissed. But we have several that are still active, and we'll continue to investigate those until they are fully adjudicated.
Doug Jones' campaign released a statement saying, quote, "This desperate attempt by Roy Moore to subvert the will of the people will not succeed. The election is over. It's time to move on." Moore's complaint also brings up allegations he had relationships with teenage girls while he was in his 30s and several others accusing him of assault. Moore denied those accusations throughout his campaign.
These allegations are completely false. I did not date underage women. I did not molest anyone.
But today, he released an affidavit he signed of a polygraph test he says he took after the election over the allegations made against him. Moore states, quote, "The results of the examination reflected I did not know, nor had I ever had any sexual contact with these individuals."
And so, Emma, we need to point out a very important distinction here. Roy Moore signed that affidavit making the claim about the polygraph exam. The polygraph administrator did not sign that. There was no paperwork from the polygraph administrator. So, again, that's Roy Moore's word that he signed on that affidavit there. And just, you know, we have to point out he did not resign, or he did not concede yet, Amra, but he did issue a statement late this afternoon after the election was certified. At the end of it, it said, "I have stood for the truth about God and the Constitution for the people of Alabama. I have no regrets. To God be the glory." Emma, that may be the closest thing we get to an official concession from Roy Moore.
Roy Moore still fighting on all fronts. Diane Gallagher, thank you.